Hey everyone, Fire here. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to counter Divine Orb inflation. So like a lot of you guys, lately I have been getting very frustrated at how fast Divine Orbs are inflating. At the time of making this video, they are already around 240C each. So I sat down and I decided I was going to come up with a strategy that involved farming something that inflates faster than Divine Orbs. This way, rather than the strat becoming weaker every day, it becomes stronger every day. Now, after some brainstorming and going through my old data, I determined that the two best mechanics for doing this were going to be Harbinger and Harvest. The main reason for this is because they lead to a lot of end-game crafting materials. So we have all of the life force types, which, as everyone knows, harvest crafting is used to create some of the most powerful items in the game. And then you have things such as the Fracturing Orb, Annulment Orbs, Exalted Orbs, etc., which are all used in endgame crafting. So generally the idea is that whenever Divine Orbs go up in price because the demand is starting to outstrip supply, these items are going to go up as well. If people are crafting with Divine Orbs, they're going to also need a lot of life force, and they're also going to need Fracturing Orbs, Annulment Orbs, Exalted Orbs, etc. So now that I had decided what mechanics I was going to farm and what loot I wanted, I had to come up with an intelligent way to synergize these two mechanics together, and it involved pulling out some very, very old tech. Now, most of you guys are probably already up to speed with this, but when you run the Harbinger Sextant, the bosses drop Harbinger loot. Therefore, if you run City Square, you're getting 3 bosses worth of Harbinger loot. This is basically 2 extra Harbingers worth of loot per map, and this makes City Square one of the best maps to be running the Harbinger mechanic for. However, there is another reason why we're going to be running City Square. So does anyone here remember rushing the bosses of City Square in order to thin out the Eldritch Altar pool? Because that's what we're going to be doing here, but for totally different reasons than in the past. In the past, we were doing it to maximize the amount of minion altars we were doing, but this time we're kind of doing it for the player quant altars. So when you kill the bosses of City Square, after that, according to the weightings at the moment, 2 out of every 3 Eldritch Altars are going to offer you player quant. And this is great. As far as we know, Harvest and Harbinger loot both scale off quant. This just means you have the option between Eldritch Altar loot that might be getting devalued. So I think Embers offer things like chisels and stuff like that. And chisels are pretty good right now, but maybe a week from now, chisels aren't going to be good. And I want an alternative. And that's where the quant stuff comes in. The whole point of this strat is to hedge against inflation, basically. It's so that you're either getting an option that might be devalued or the option to buff the loot that's going to continue getting juiced out by inflation. And I just think that is some pretty damn amazing tech. Lastly, we're adding Rusted Sulfite Scarabs into our maps, just because the Sulfite Shrines are really good for farming this strat. It's a lot of extra power to be getting. I'd be willing to pay money for these things, but very fortunately, we're profiting about 6 to 7C per map on average, because Resonators are really expensive right now. Now, before I get started showing you guys the setup, I just want to point out this currency strat spreadsheet that I'm going to be maintaining from now on. So this is just a list of my personal strats, all the strats that I've done YouTube videos on, and in the future it's even going to contain the strats that I'm running on stream, because some of you guys that only watch me on YouTube aren't aware of all the stuff that we're doing on stream, and you're missing out. So I'm going to stop uploading all this stuff to this spreadsheet, and you guys can just use this, keep track of it all. It's going to contain links to the videos, the atlas trees, and even an explanation of the setup. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So if we were to click on this link, it's going to bring up this page here, and this is the setup that we're doing for this strat. We're running Polished Harbinger Scarabs, Rusted Sulfite Scarabs. We are running the Sextant to add a Mysterious Harbinger into our map, and then we're also running the Sextant for Duplicated Life Force with yellow plants. Now, you can run other plants. I've been running blue and purple on stream. The profits are all pretty close to each other. I think yellow has pulled ahead a little bit, but only because the price of the Sextant is lagging behind the current cost of yellow life force. So up to you guys. Run whichever ones you want or whichever ones you feel comfortable with. You're going to make money with them all. I've tested them all. There's no way you're not going to make money, put it that way. All right. We're running Harbinger on the map device. So yeah, pretty straightforward. We are running 4 Voidstones. If you're watching this video, you should have 4 Voidstones already by now. And as for our favor slots, we are favoring 1 Forbidden Woods, and then we're going to favor up to 11 City Squares. Now, obviously, if you don't have all the favor slots, don't. You can't do 11, but just do as many as you can. I think you're going to have some trouble sustaining your map pool if you have probably any less than 7 or 8. I would say that's the minimum amount of favor slots that you need to pull a strat like this off. So yeah, just get on that if you haven't already, and then you can just do the strat to your heart's content. This is a very basic Atlas tree. I'm just going to go through it real quick so that we understand and we're all on the same page in terms of what we're trying to accomplish with it. So I took all of the harvest related stuff, pretty much all of the harbinger related stuff, and obviously I'm blocking purple and blue over here so that I can maximize the amount of yellow life force that I get. I'm blocking 5 mechanics. I'm probably going to block a 6th if I ever unlock the final point, and that's to increase the amount of harvest that I'm getting naturally. Now with this strat, we are not using the Sanctum to guarantee the harvest, but we are using the Sanctum to duplicate harvest. This is probably a little weird to some of you guys, but basically we could get something like a 3 in 4 chance for a harvest to appear. So when you apply the duplicate life force Sanctum onto your maps, 3 out of the 4 of those maps from that Sanctum are going to have a harvest on average, which means you get the benefit of the compass for 3 out of 4 maps. But it's so profitable that it doesn't matter that we're paying that kind of cost anyway. At the time of making this video, it's like 55C for the Sanctum, and you make tons more money back, so don't even worry about that. But you can run the other Sanctum if you want. I calculated it, and it worked out to be a slight loss of money for me, so I don't know. Maybe that's going to change in the future. Okay, so we're pretty much just taking all of the map nodes as well. We're taking single focus so that we can over-sustain City Square. We're taking the Sulfite-related stuff for the Sulfite Shrines, and also in order to generate Azerite. Resonators are just really expensive, so in a strat like this, where you can take this stuff and you're not using the Scarab slots, definitely you have to take it, I think. And then we're just running all of the Eldritch Ember stuff over here. We're running the Quant Ring, and we're running the Top Hat for Mod effect. Now, this basically just means that we're going to be able to massively over-sustain City Square. I've been doing this strat, I've been selling off all of my excess City Square, and even before I had glued onto City Square, there are other maps that I was running this strat on, and I was over-sustaining them too, even on the less optimal version. So, yep, this is the tree. I can't see myself making any changes to it any further. I've gone through like maybe 20 or 30 different, slight variations of it. This is the one I'm settling on. This is the one I would be using from now on, and this is the one I'm recommending to you guys. So what are your money makers with a strat like this? Most of it is pretty much just here in this window, as you can see. You have all the life force down the bottom, you have ancient orbs, fracturing orbs and shards, you have annulment orbs, exalted orbs, and then you get a ton of chaos orbs. On top of that, you have all of the altar loot, so you're getting tons of unmaking orbs, orbs of regret, scouring, awakened sextants, chisels, GCPs, etc. You name it, and then all of the embers on top of that. So pretty much all of your profit fits into this window, with the exception of your Azerite. So once you are done farming, you can just go up to Nico, go to purchase items, and then you hold down Control and Shift on your keyboard, and you spam click this until you spend all of your Azerite on resonators, and then you can sell those resonators for 3C each, which you can see ends up in this nice big stack over here. So how good is the loot per hour? Well, I can't actually give you a solid number. I recorded data on a few different times and I got wildly different results just because the prices of things go up over time. The fracturing orb skyrocketed between doing 2 different tests. And on top of that, I think like the speed that you clear the map plays a very large factor. Obviously, you're spending a lot of time killing Harbingers and Harvests, and if you're not playing a build that's well suited to it, you're gonna be in there forever. Let's be real about that. So, I'm not gonna give you any kind of number. If I tell you it's 7 divines per hour, people are gonna say I'm lying. If I tell you it's 3 divines per hour, you're gonna tell me it's a bad strat. So, I'm just gonna tell you guys, the loot's fucking dankio, and the source is trust me, bro. Now, I gave you what I believe to be the highest profit per hour version of the strat, but obviously your juice is going to eventually run out, and some of you guys are just going to get to the point where you're sick of doing the farm, or you're sick of stocking up on the juice, you just want to play the next map, and there are some variants that are really good for that. So, the first variant is like a 1 respec point at most if you really want to do it. You can just socket this in to increase the amount of like Nico missions you're generating naturally, but you don't have to do that either. If you want to keep using Rusted Sulfite Scarabs, totally up to you. And basically all we're doing here is we're running the exact same setup. We're just dropping all of the juice, and then if you want, you can add a Sulfite Scarab in, or you can use a Nico mission. Totally up to you. You can even do neither. Now, you're not going to be getting the duplicated life force, but you're also not getting the duplicated life pools on the harvest. So the harvests are going to take a little less time to do, and they're still going to be pretty profitable. You're not running the guaranteed yellow plants, but you are blocking the other 2 types. So overall, at least half of your life force should be yellow, and the Alch Go version of the strat should make a decent amount of money until you're ready to sort of like recharge and buy all your juice and go again. Now, there is a very interesting Wandering Path of Growing Hordes version of this strat that I discovered, and I'm going to share with you first the low respec version of it. So this is basically the tree we already looked at, but it's only 3 points different. We're going to cut 3 of the blocking nodes over here, and we're going to allocate those nodes to Wandering Path and Growing Hordes. Very important to understand with the tree I'm sharing. The whole point of this is that the strat works on this tree. It's not the most optimized version of the tree. This is just, you can do the strat with only spending 3 respec points, not respecing an entire tree. Yeah, all of the notables on here are wasted, but the strat still works out. I tested it anyway. I ended up allocating Wandering Path, and I forgot to unspec a whole bunch of my notables and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it turned out okay anyway. We made decent money, so I'm going to share this with you guys. So if you really want to break from Harbinger, you just do this. You put in 4 low-value rusted scarabs into the map device. Now, you just put like 40 torment scarabs in, and then you'll consume 4 per map. And that's going to give you 20% extra pack size. This is really good. Obviously, Harvest loves pack size. Harvest loves pack size more than it loves quant. So this is really good. And then you're also going to be running, because of Wandering Path, you're buffing the increased mod effect stuff, so that's giving you even more pack size. Now, all the rest of the juice is pretty much cut from the strat. You're just running the same favor slot, all the 4 void stones, and you're going to be running the duplicated Harvest Life Force Sextant as well still, but no Harbinger related stuff. You're cutting Harbinger from the tree, no Harbinger Scarab, nothing, no Sextant. So it's just that tree. Now here's an interesting thing. Harvest is kind of good with Wandering Path. You wouldn't think so, but I think these nodes really carry it. Now these nodes give you 20% each with Wandering Path, and they make you have a 60% increased chance to gain tier 3 plants. On the other hand, the stuff that you're losing over here, now stuff like this, wait, not necessarily that one. This one over here, Bumper Crop, has a 50% chance to contain to make your harvest contain an additional plot or an additional harvest. This makes your harvest take longer, and the one over here has an increased chance to spawn a tier 4 plant. Now, tier 4 plants are good, but again, they take longer, especially when you're duplicating or you're doubling their life pool. They're just, they're good, but they are kind of the same profit per hour as tier 3 plants in a way, is one way you can look at it. And the good thing about Wandering Path is that you're buffing the value of your harvest while missing out on the notables that increase the value of your harvest while making it take extra time. So your harvests are a little shorter and still make pretty good profit per hour with Wandering Path. I wouldn't have expected it. I initially thought it was bad, but then I tested it. I decided this stuff is actually really good. I would highly recommend it. So this is just a harvest farm. You're pretty much going in. You're not doing any of the sulfite stuff anymore. You're not doing any of the Harbinger stuff anymore. You're just getting the Eldritch Altars, and you're doing the stuff for harvest. Then you're getting out of the map. This one is a lot better for cycling through maps faster, especially if you're trying to farm Sanctums. Since you don't have to spend any time doing Harbingers, you're able to maintain your profit per hour, but you're running a higher amount of maps per hour, which means more access to Sanctum per hour. What you see here is the fully respect version of the Wandering Path Growing Hordes tree that I just showed you. We're getting 100% chance for an adjacent map drop, 30% map dupe chance, 60% alter mod effect, 80% chance for a map upgrade, 30% quant, 30% rarity every map as a baseline. This is absolutely amazing for harvest, and then we're tacking Beyond on top because why the hell not? Okay, so what this looks like is you're just going Beyond on the map device. You're running the same map favoring that I already showed you guys, and obviously the 4 void stones. We're going to be still sacrificing the 4 torment scarabs or whichever low value scarabs you want to sacrifice. We're getting the duplicated life force, and then also we are now adding a guaranteed grove into the map. So because we drop a lot of the harvest related investment for the extra chance, we don't have access to blocking, we don't have stream of consciousness. Now we're just going to go, right, fine, let's guarantee the harvest every single map. You're still going to make good money doing it this way, but I will point out, this is just here as an alternative to the first farm that I showed you guys. I think the first farm is better. I've done both strats, and this strat's okay. It's still good, still better than a lot of what other content creators are putting out there, but the first strat I showed you, I think that's the one you guys should double down on. If you like this video, I would really appreciate you commenting or subscribing to this channel. Those YouTube dollars from the other day went a long way. I'm fully stocked up on chocolate milk for the rest of the year, and now I want to fund a trip to see the Blue Man Group. So get at it, guys. Go. Come on, subscribe.